A complete collapse in voter confidence. The latest poll reveals that the Reform Party is leading the political scene with 34%, while the two traditional parties are plunging to historic lows. But did you know that this is not just an ordinary political shift? Behind these numbers is a shocking story of voter betrayal and policy theft that will change the face of Britain forever. Subscribe to the channel because the real details are more exciting than you can imagine. Share your opinions with us in the comments. Do you think this change will benefit Britain? What are your expectations for the upcoming elections?
Camilla, I think this is a desperate last-ditch attempt to have some sort of credibility and semblance of actually being able to do something. In fact, when I read that policy last night, my mouth dropped open because it's pretty much a copy and paste of the policy that we launched some month or so ago, Operation Restoring Justice. I think you were at that launch, and pretty much they are doing exactly what we said. And this is very much like a copy and paste. They've literally taken every single word. And when Chris Philp talks this morning about the fact that we put it together on the back of a fag packet, I think that's pretty rich coming from the Conservative Party, who did nothing about our porous borders over 14 years. Well, if you look at the latest Merlin poll, the voters don't actually trust the Tories to get anything done. And there's a very good reason for that, isn't it? They're all talk, nothing ever happens. And when you look at the latest polling, this is this morning, we've gone up to 34, which is up 2 points. The Conservatives and Labour both down. We're polling almost as much as Labour and the Tories combined. And so the public is saying, actually, we want to take back control of our borders. We want someone to actually sort out this unholy mess. And that the people to do that will be Reform UK.
Just to warn viewers and listeners, there are odd noises and bings and bongs and bangs and a vacuum going, just in case you're hearing background noise. But that's pretty in order to push through a pretty hefty legislative agenda, including your own immigration plans. So you're slagging off the Tories, but you might need Kemi Badenoch and her MPs to prop up your next government, mightn't you?
Yeah, Camilla, remember we've been here before. We stood down, didn't we? We gave Boris Johnson an 80-seat majority, which was squandered. There is no way we would do a deal with the Tories. Look, when it comes to those polls, actually, they are very different. So the latest polling shows we win between 271 to 450 seats. That could give us a working majority of, say, 47 or thereabouts. But the point is that actually, I think the public, and I've been going around the country, I've seen 5,000 people over the last 4 months, and people...
Last week that it had incited violence against Nigel Farage. He also revealed that Nigel Farage's taxpayer-funded bodyguards had been cut by 75% by the government. What's your response to that? Is Sir Keir Starmer inciting hatred against your party leader?
Yes, I think he is, actually. He said that Nigel was not patriotic. I've worked with Nigel for a very long time.
Shouldn't he?
Well, so I know there is no one more patriotic than Nigel Farage in this country. Also, he then claimed that we were a party of racists. Now, that is inciting violence as far as I can see. And the fact is that revenge is a dish best served cold. So you can see Labour has fallen by 5 points since he made those comments. We've put on another 8,000 members, thanks to the Prime Minister. I think the Prime Minister should do the decent thing, call a general election and see if the public back him.
The Prime Minister has denied Zia Youssef's claims that he has incited any violence against Nigel Farage at all in his rhetoric at conference. But just by extension, if you think that his words are inciting violence, then surely both you and Zia Youssef should be calling on the police to investigate.
Yeah, I think it's a really good point, actually. Look, I think you also have to look at this pragmatically. As I said, I'm going around the country...
Police to investigate the Prime Minister?
Well, let's just talk about the ramifications. Let's not forget Joe Cox, David Amess. Let's talk about what it means to be a member of Parliament. Nigel Farage, and I can't go into operational details, but certainly our security has had to be stepped up. I am very aware when I'm going around the country that there is a risk attached to all of this, and it only takes one stupid person to do something. I think certainly Keir Starmer's rhetoric was wrong. I think the public can see that. That's why the poll rating is going up. But as to whether it's a police matter, that is a matter for the police.
But do you think that the police should potentially investigate the Prime Minister over the words that he has used at conference about Nigel Farage?
I think politicians need to be much more careful about the language they use. I think it is very easy to sit there and throw insults and abuse at various politicians of different colours and different parties, but there are ramifications to all of that, and actually the safety and security of all members of Parliament is paramount, because one of the biggest problems we have is getting people to actually put their head above the parapet and say they actually want to stand and become a member of Parliament. If we don't, well look, I make this very clear when I go around the country. I say we don't want failed Tories. We want the best and the brightest from across the political spectrum, and that is what we are seeing. We have had defections like Danny Kruger from the Conservative Party. He is very welcome, but there are